Welcome to Lesson 1.3 about evaluating opportunities before you start your business. Some people complain, why do other people get all the opportunities? Why don't I ever get opportunities? It's not fair. What about me? That's pretty pathetic. Repeat after me. Whining isn't a productive activity. Instead, why not stop ignoring the dozens of opportunities that are lying at your feet at this very moment? Just because most people walk by them blissfully unaware of the treasures they're ignoring, do you have to do that too? Understand one thing. You won't see opportunities if you walk around wearing a blindfold, which is how most people go through life. Take your blindfold off and start looking at your opportunities. That puts you ahead of 9 out of 10 people. You don't believe me? Let me tell you a story. Every year I attend an event at Duke University where I meet many grad students born and raised outside of the United States. Many of the students have only been in our country for 3 or 4 weeks when I meet them. Every year I ask these new arrivals whether they have learned anything surprising about our country. One young Chinese man's answer proves my point about opportunities being everywhere. Here's how he answered my question about surprises. I learned that Americans like different colored roofs. Okay, so what's that got to do with opportunities? Or is this just another perplexing version of the sound of one hand clapping? This new Chinese student told me that seeing houses that have different colored roofs taught him that it's not always about volume. Having choices is important. Things you need have a base value, but things customized to your needs and preferences command a premium price. When he returned to China, he would focus on customizing products or services. That's pretty interesting, but you'll miss the really startling thing about the story unless you ask yourself, how did the student decide that Americans like different colored roofs? The answer is, when he flew from China to the US, his plane landed at Dulles Airport in the Virginia suburbs of Washington, D.C. The student learned something that changed his life by looking out his tiny airplane window as his plane approached the airport before he even set foot in our country. So it is with all of us. So is your window open or closed? Stop complaining about lack of opportunity, open your window, and start looking. Of course, like anything else, developing skills to identify and understand opportunities is important. Have you ever walked through a forest or other natural area with someone who knows a lot about plants and animals? I often walk right by things, blissfully unaware of what they are, even if I'm looking right at them. People who know more about plants and wildlife, however, can spot a bird at 100 yards because they know where and how to look. So it is with opportunities. The first step is to open your eyes and start looking. But you'll increase your chances of finding something if you have some opportunity identification training. Is identifying opportunities others don't see an innate ability or instinct, or can it be learned? Permit me to tell you another story. When I went on safari in the Serengeti in Tanzania, during the first 2 days on safari, our guide was constantly pointing to lions in the distance that I couldn't see. I was beginning to think he was making the lions up. But by the third day, my eyes adapted to spotting distant lions. Hint, if you see a rock in the tall grass that seems to have ears, look closer and it'll probably start moving slightly after a minute or two. Then you know you've found a lion. Your lion spotting skills will improve with practice. A great guide and a good pair of binoculars won't hurt either. It's the same with opportunities. So let's get started.